Why goalkeeper's so different? Probably because we're the crazy ones that stand in the goal and get the ball fired at us. I think, to be honest, it's especially in the moment of the game, it's very much how do I keep the ball out of the goal, keep it as very simple as possible, because there's so many things you can think about, and that's probably all done in the preparation before the games. So thinking about what the teams like to do on a penalty corner attack, for example, or in just open play, what their attack is looking for. But ultimately, nobody's on the sideline with a scoreboard saying 10 out of 10 for a save or 7 out of 10. It's just if you keep the ball out of the goal, brilliant. If you don't, then things that's where the problems start to come. Especially from the defensive side, the goalkeeper, with the position we are on the pitch, we have a massive amount of vision, and we can see kind of the game unfolding. We can really help the people in front of us to ultimately do their job better, so then we don't have to touch the ball, which is nice at times. And I think with penalty corner defence, that's something that we like to take ownership of and really organise, because then if we're confident in what they're doing, then it allows us to do our job much more easily. Definitely a position of responsibility, but equally everyone on the pitch has that kind of role, is to push the team forward in a leadership space as well. I suppose it's how can you help the team as much as possible with the communication side of things. So easy when we're defending of where's your man that you're marking, or where do you need to be position on the pitch, and then on the ball we can kind of help direct away from their press. Got to try and keep it simple, because there's so many things you can think about. So ultimately, keep the ball out of the goal and you're doing your job. I think it's hard to know when you're actually in the moment, because you're so focused on the task at hand and what your job is, and that they're kind of all the thoughts that you almost have capacity for in that moment. But I think it's kind of clear to see that after the event, when all the emotions come out, especially, it's more visible, I suppose, after a win, an amazing moment. You just kind of see that release of emotion, that pure joy, happiness, embracing other teammates. So it is probably being suppressed in there. It's just something that you're not necessarily conscious of, because we practice so hard of making sure that you're so focused on your specific role in that moment. What's my job? What am I going to do? That's all your brain in those moments, because you're under pressure and obviously your focus narrows. That's all you really have bandwidth to do. So I think it is almost trying to stay as emotionless as possible in those moments, using the adrenaline, the extra pressure in inverted commas, to really focus you on those moments and use it to benefit you. So then the emotion does come out, hopefully, when you've had those big moments and big successful moments. Sometimes, and that's probably one of the hardest things around goalkeeping, is you can have a really good game and lose, but you can also have a really bad game and your team win. And so that's kind of also a horrible situation the goalkeeper has to deal with, is that sometimes success on an individual level is not linked to success on a team level. So ideally, yes, if you're playing really well, your team is more likely to win, but they don't necessarily correlate all the time. And so that is a hard thing you have to kind of deal with, especially as a young goalkeeper coming through. You've got to try and have almost two ways of reflecting on a performance. There's obviously the team outcome, which I believe is the most important thing. That's why we want to play. We want to be involved in team success. That's why we play a team sport. But equally, having that ability to kind of zoom out, have that perspective of my performance, what did I do well, what can I improve? And that's ultimately how you contribute more to the team success as well. As a goalkeeper, you are the last line of defence. Failing happens especially like in training, almost every day. Like, this is the beauty of the journey we're on as high performance sports people, is that in order to get better, you have to fail. It's one of those things. You've got to put yourself out your comfort zone, try new things. Otherwise, we're never going to get better, and we're only going to kind of plateau out. To be honest, to answer your question, how often do you fail? Very frequently, but it's also that gives you the platform to then be successful on the world stage. Nobody watches hockey, or nobody watches games because they want to see the goalkeeper make loads of saves. They see it because they want to see goals. So there's always this kind of dilemma for hockey lovers, I suppose, is that you obviously want your team to win, but also you wouldn't watch it if every game was 0-0. That being said, there's also the flip side of that, is you could be last minute of a game, or you're in a shootout and then you make a save to win and progress. You have two ends of the spectrum where you can be right at the end, right at the top end of that spectrum, where you're almost the hero, but equally you can be the villain in that moment as well. So that's the trade-off that goalkeepers have to love and embrace. But yeah, no, I've been lucky enough to be nominated for the award of FIH Goalkeeper of the Year for this 2025. Unfortunately, wasn't the winner this year, but yeah, it's always nice to be recognised on an individual level, and I suppose on a world level as well. But I suppose the reason we play, or certainly the reason I play hockey, is to make sure that we get team success. And ultimately, looking back on the year, we didn't achieve what we wanted to. So yes, it's really nice on the one hand to be recognised on an individual level, but equally there's still kind of that desire that we didn't get over the line in the summer of the Europeans, and so we want to make that right next year going into the World Cup. After, fingers crossed that we qualify as well. But yeah, but I suppose you've got to kind of have a different mindset as such to the outfielders, in that they are always able to kind of put their stamp on the game, whereas the goalkeeper is always, I suppose, reactive. They can only deal with what is thrown at them in the game. And so there is a different mindset that you have to kind of embrace as a goalkeeper. Otherwise, it can be quite a tough position to play. So yeah, that's probably the main difference. Goalkeepers get thrown into kit. They've got balls flying at them. They're letting in lots of goals, and then they kind of lose the love for it. Definitely kind of make sure that you're able to move really well, get into the movement patterns that you're going to have to do. So like diving, smothering. So you're comfortable in that outside of kit. So when you put the kit on, it's kind of almost a second skin. Actually, if they're comfortable getting into those positions already, they're hopefully going to save more balls, they're going to enjoy it, and then ultimately it goes from there. So almost the work outside of kit and being comfortable in those movements, those techniques, can almost lay the foundations to hopefully encourage people to enjoy it. That's why we all play, is that you've got to keep that enjoyment, because there's going to be some tough moments along the way. So if you know that you enjoy your sport that you're taking part in, brilliant, you're more likely to kind of stay and keep working on it and keep enjoying it. And then if it's kind of your priority to really push yourself, is then seek feedback, keep reflecting on your game, and then you can realize, almost map out what do you need to get better, and then you can kind of see your progress go from there. So enjoy it, reflect on your game, and seek external feedback, and then you've got more crazy people that want to put the kit on and save lots of balls.